I started writing and playing music when I got to high school. I had some good friends of mine that introduced me to some good music, and a friend of mine would take guitar lessons, and he would ask his teacher how to play this song and that song, and then I would ask him what he learned, and he would teach me. So I was the student of a student. And that's how I learned how to play guitar. And then I started writing a little bit in high school, too, creative writing. I love to write, and that's how all that kind of came together.
Well, quick question. Do you remember what was your very first paying gig playing music?
My first paying gig that came later in college, as an undergrad, in order to make some extra money. I started playing, first I started playing at friends' houses, and they would ask me to play songs, and somebody suggested an open mic at this place called Roosters, and I said, okay, so I went, and I started doing open mics, and people started to come, and the owner noticed, and he booked me for a show, and that was the first time that I ever played. I think I must have been 21-ish at the time, but I can't remember.
But we're going to pay you money to come play your music, man. That's pretty awesome. Well,
yeah, and it was original music, too, which was unique. You know, a lot of spots want you to play covers, but he was big into people playing original music. So that definitely helped with that.
Well, you started touring pretty extensively. How did that time allow you to grow and develop your sound?
It was pretty, the way that this all came to be is because
Well, you started touring pretty extensively. How did that time allow you to grow and develop your sound?
It was pretty, the way that this all came to be is because in the past I've been in bands, in a lot of bands, and, they always ups and downs and breakups and all of that, but throughout the whole time I would always keep writing and playing. So after all these open mics and started playing shows, I was like, I could just do this on my own. So I started little by little, booking myself, getting to know people, and eventually, my client list started to grow. I always try to keep touch with my email list, and things like that. And just through the years, it's a long game kind of thing, so little by little, brick by brick, shaking hands and meeting people and asking if I could play. And I've been lucky enough to meet some really kind people that let me play their places. So.
All right. In 2018, you released an EP called Rusty Strings. Was that your first release?
No, I had previously released...
All right. In 2018, you released an EP called Rusty Strings. Was that your first release?
No, I had previously released another album, but they were mostly like CDs, burnt CDs kind of thing.
Gotcha.
That I passed out. But Rusty Strings was the first album that or EP that I actually went into a studio to record, and it turned out to be kind of what I envisioned. So I decided to put it out. But yes.
Well, what all did you learn by going in the studio and doing it, I'm sure, very hands-on? What were you able to glean from that and learn?
Oh man, a lot. It was a eye-opening experience. I've been in studios before with friends' houses, like recording a demo here and there, but that was the first time I was actually in a studio, and I learned the difference between the two, and I learned also
new single Time Machine.
Time Machine. All right, so I think this was during the pandemic, and I can't remember the video exactly, but there was a video of an older man walking with a walker, and then somebody started playing a 50s tune. I can't remember the name of the song, but he just started dancing, and he grabbed the walker and he threw it, and he just danced. Everybody was clapping, everybody was happy. Anyways, that video that I watched, I think it was on TikTok. I can't remember, but it just amazed me of how music can mentally take you back. And not even just that, it's like any track, you know, that you heard when you were young, it can just mentally take you back to that place, make you happy, make you sad, you know, just make you remember. So Time Machine, that track is basically encapsulates all of that, where you're going through the mind of the person that is listening to a song that makes them happy, that makes them sad, and it really kind of tries to get all that whole idea together for the listener.
The magic of music. I love it. When it comes to the songwriting side, do you prefer to schedule time to write, or do you like to wait for inspiration?
Man, it can happen at any time, and it's the weirdest thing ever. I could be, and I've had writer's block for a really long time, and it was, I don't know if you had a chance to listen to my other single I put out in 2020, Sunrise, but that song, I started writing when my daughter was born, and I didn't finish writing it until my son was born 3 years later. So it depends, like, where it is. Sometimes there's songs that I write in 5 minutes just because it's an exercise, but the good ones usually take me a little while.